Muy buenas tardes. Thank you for coming to this year's holiday play. I want to say a few things before we get started. First of all, many people helped contribute to make this project happen. And so many people that I'm not going to name a single one of them or a single organization, but they are listed on the program, so please refer to your program. Then the other thing I wanted to do was ask you to please silence your cell phones. And you know how every time you go to the theater and they always say this, and then the theater starts and 5 minutes later some guy's cell phone went off because he was texting when they made that announcement. So I thought we could do kind of an interactive thing and we could wake that guy up right now. So let's just all chant together. Let's silence our phones together on the count of 3, please. 1, 2, 3.
Let's silence our phones.
Did you hear that? Good. Now, a few quick comments about what this project is and what it isn't. First of all, the script is my fault. It's on me. I wrote it. I wanted to warn you that there will be simulated gunshots during the play, so I want no heart attacks here, please. And I also want to tell you that the content of the play is pretty heavy, emotional, adult stuff, particularly in the second act. So, in the unlikely event of a water landing, there is a life jacket below your seat. And in the unlikely event of a fire, we have a fire exit over here and a fire exit over here. Please don't start any fires. This is not a Theatricals Company production, okay? The students that are acting tonight are not theater students. These are students in the Masters of Teaching Spanish program who got stuck in my class, and on the first day of class, they found out that they were going to put on a play, and that play was going to be a play that I wrote. The pedagogical reasons behind this, besides teaching them about the border and teaching them about a very important issue that takes place in our state and in our country, in our border state, is that they're also learning how to use theater as a tool to teach a second language. So normally, often, I teach Spanish-American one-act plays in Spanish to non-Spanish speaking students, and this helps them learn Spanish. These students are learning to be teachers, so they can do the same thing. Many of them are Latin American, so this turns the tables on them, and they're presenting a play that's not in their native language, so they get a feeling for what the experience will be like for their students that are trying to do this in Spanish. The creative model that we're using is called Collaborative Latin American Theater. So in other words, we had no auditions. Everybody in the class got multiple roles. There's 88 characters in this play. The same number of keys on the piano are the characters in this play. And they just sort of self-sorted to the different characters that they played and the different roles as technical director, stage director, actor, whatever. They kind of figured all of that out. We also took a trip to the U.S.-Mexico border so that they could talk with recently deported people, so that they could visit the site where a young man was killed in Mexico, in Nogales, Mexico, so that they could visit the site in the desert where a young woman died while trying to cross the border. And I think because of this trip, they have a more visceral, more physical, more profound connection to the subject matter of the play. As you'll see, this play is crazy. It was a very ambitious production, and there were two possible strategies. The logical one would have been to simplify things and make it easier, but that's just not the way I roll. So I gave them the whole enchilada, and they're amazing students, and they have risen to the occasion, and you're going to see that they are, in spite of having no costume crew, no set crew, we're performing in front of the Christmas play set. No lighting designer. We only can use the light plot that we had available to us, which is from the Christmas play. Basically being an itinerant group where we got to rehearse here about once a week, and some weeks we couldn't, and then other times we rehearsed in Flagstaff High School, and other times we rehearsed in classrooms at the university, and no real director, because I don't have any idea how to direct a play. And in spite of all of that, these students are going to entertain you, they're going to provoke you, and they're going to touch you. So the last thing I want to tell you is that the play is going to start and will be punctuated frequently by kind of a curious, strange drone sound. And this sound is actually the sound of the U.S.-Mexico border. A sound sculptor bows the wall, the steel wall, with a cello bow and records these sounds and mixes them. So you will be hearing the vibration of the border wall throughout this play. And there also will be different things on the stage that will look like trash. Water bottles, there's an embroidered cloth, there are shoes. And these are actual artifacts that were carried and used by migrants in crossing the border. The play is based on documentary materials. There are true real-life things here, and then also a lot of fiction as well. It's a 2-act play. We'll have a 10-minute intermission in between the 2 acts. And then afterwards, those of you that are like, God, I got to get out of here, or I got to get home and meet the babysitter, or I got to go to bed and get to work in the morning, are free to go. But those that want to stay will have a talk back with the actors, and I'll be here as well. And if you want to make any comments, ask any questions, register any complaints, talk to the students about what the experience was like for them or how they felt about the play, you're welcome to do so. So thank you so much again for being here, and enjoy the show.